Hello there, I'm Rafael de Furia. I'm originally from the US and I have been living in Braga about 8 or 9 months now. And I have a video and audio production company, and I also do marketing. I also have a YouTube channel where I talk about life abroad, living abroad. It's a part video travel podcast as well as travel videos out and about showing this wonderful city that I get to live in. The reason why I decided to leave my country was because I was actually quite young at the time and just finishing high school, and I thought, okay, either I could start with the whole university track back in the US, or I can have an adventure around the world. So I decided to have an adventure around the world. At the time I was also in the process of applying for Italian citizenship, but I had many delays with my Italian citizenship, and I was wanting to spend time in Portugal, spend time in Italy, spend time in different places, and around these different places then I ended up actually coming to find how much I really enjoyed time here in Portugal, and that's actually kind of what brought me back. The reason why I chose Braga was because I actually had family that was coming to move here. They decided that they would like to live here, especially after the past couple of years and lockdowns and these things. They wanted to have a new adventure of their own. And so I decided that it may as well be worthwhile to look into things so that I can see, because I would like to be close to them, help take care of things, help take care of them, and to be close by. And I saw, while I was looking at the information about Braga, that beautiful city. I mean, I had traveled to Portugal in different parts of the country, but I'd never been to Braga before, and basically everything that I would really be interested in, it would have all of those boxes checked. And I saw also that being here in Braga, I have access to just this beautiful greenery around us, and then also it's not far from the airport, so that if I need to go and work somewhere else in Europe, I have that option to be able to be here, but travel as well, and to have a nice place that's not too big, not too small. It's just a kind of fair balance in between, and I ended up finding about that there are certain advantages financially, as well as tax advantages to being here in Portugal. And based on my family, as well as all of the major positives of Braga, plus the general positives of being in Portugal, I thought it would be interesting to come and see what life would be like here. It's really difficult for me to say what it is that actually I like most, because there's a lot of really wonderful things. I mean, I can spend the day working and then I go out in the afternoon or in the evening and I feel like I'm almost on vacation going into the center, or I can go, there's always cafes and restaurants, but what I really find very impressive about the city is how much there is that's going on, how many cultural events, festivals, fireworks, so many things that are always happening. It feels like every weekend I almost have to take a little step back to be able to catch my breath in between the big events that are happening, because there's always something to do here. For me, I can't say during the transitional period that I actually had so many difficulties, because coming to Portugal out of the different countries that I've been in was very familiar to me, in many ways culturally familiar. I have some Brazilian family, I have some Italian family, I have family from all over the world. So I like here that there's actually that kind of mixture and kind of halfway point between. So that actually took what I know can be difficult for a lot of people and made it very familiar and very easy. Also, even during the transitional period, to be here in Braga, to be able to have the bureaucracy. That's probably one of the more complicated parts, but again, finding a place to live, because housing is very short supply here for rentals, so that's definitely a challenge. But overall, I can say it's really just not been, in comparison to other places that I've lived, as challenging as it can be. So I've been really happy about that. I could really say that the Portuguese people are really great. I'm not saying this just because I'm of Portuguese descent and not just trying to make myself feel good, but no, really, the people, especially not just Portuguese people, but people in Braga, there's something very special about the people here. They're very direct with you. They tell you what they think. I like that. But also, if you need help, if you need something, they're there. They're immediately checking with you. I mean, the building that I moved into, there's this little old man who lives there. I haven't really met him personally, but he has a nurse that comes and takes care of him. The first day that I arrived, he made sure that his nurse came to me and said, "Are you settling in? Is everything okay? Are you doing all right? Do you like that?" Like making sure that like the transition is going okay. I mean, but this is only the day after. And so that was really, that was my first taste of seeing how the people of Braga are, but then also even going to the stores, to the shops, to meet different people. A real estate agent that I worked with, he really went above and beyond anything that I've seen any agent do, like helping with doing a video call before I even arrived to see if the place was okay. But just overall, I can really say that the Portuguese are very kind, warm, welcoming, and very, very helpful to somebody who's coming to live in a new place. The biggest difference between Braga and where I come from, I would really say, would be language. I mean, that's just a given. Food is also another one. I very much enjoy the food here. I could rant and talk about that all day long. But just overall, also really from a cultural perspective, life is slower here, but in a comfortable way. There's still something that I also really like about Italy is that you work to live rather than live to work. You have a work-life balance that you can enjoy life, still work, but still also be able to go and spend time with people rather than you're stuck in your car, you're thinking about going back and forth and just every day on the grind. Here, it's more of a balance that you have that time separated, that you can still have a life at the end of the day. I would say for the most part, I've had a very positive experience living in Braga. Again, like I mentioned before, the people here are so kind and welcoming and so helpful that really even the few things that I could almost say are negative aren't actually negatives at the end of the day, just because it's like you're on like maybe a little bit of a bumpy road and you have like a little small pebble that you barely even notice along the way. I can't say that I actually have plans to go back to the country that I was born in. I've actually been abroad ever since I left. I left about 13 and a half years ago. And I really like what Portugal has to offer, specifically Braga. And I like, again, balance of life, food, culture, people, the familiarity of it, it's still a little bit different. And then also in Braga, you have a mixture of cultures, and like you have a lot of Brazilians here, so you can go have some Brazilian fun, Brazilian food, and then you have different food from different places. And even though I have love for the country that I'm from, I can see myself really making Portugal, specifically again Braga, my home for a very long time.